But you know what I didn't ruin this week is we went fall. You know what I didn't ruin this week is Jesus. This is your gig to ruin things. Sorry. And this is Gaytriarchs. Happy belated birthday, Gavin.
Oh, shucks.
I didn't know you still had any of those left in you.
I still have so many, but let me tell you, one, I'm feeling old, but I am not that old yet. And two, I've had back pain for an entire week through my birthday. And that is making me feel old, but I am pushing through it and still loving life, But the thing is about my birthday is my daughter was born 3 days after my birthday. So we, part of the monstrosity tornadoes of our household is that my partner is a Gemini and I am a Libra. So there's a lot of dueling personalities in the household, right? Geminis have two and Libras are just, imbalanced and generally like always seeking both halves. And then our children my daughter is also a Libra. So there's essentially 4 personalities right there between the two of us, plus my partner. So that's 6 personalities. And my son is 100% this is already more astrological work talk that we
is one of these
have,
personalities right? Going to get to the point? I'm just curious.
Yes, he's a Taurus. And so I don't even know anything about astrology. Why am I saying this? Except that he is by far the most grounded member of our family. That 100%. He's the bull on his just sitting there watching the rest of us spin out of control. Anyway, bringing it back to birthdays, my birthday is absolutely truncated because my daughter barely makes it through my breakfast and is like, so now let's talk about my birthday. And so the way we are recording this is tomorrow I will be the parent of a teenager.
Wow. It's a big change.
Yeah.
That's a big change. My husband was born 4 days after my son. So it's the reverse of you. It's actually worse because it's all the prep and the build up and the thought to his birthday. And then we're just kind of recovering. They're like, oh yeah, happy birthday, Brian. Like it doesn't work out. So a couple of weeks ago, Gavin and I were asked to be on this radio show and they were just
because celebrities.
Because we're celebrities. And they were like, hey, come on, be on the show. Tell us about your show, whatever. We're like, great. We've done this a million times.
Have we though? I mean,
as actors and performers and writers and stuff like that.
But we didn't know exactly what we were getting into.
Well, okay, it was a radio interview, and so we were like, whatever, we'll do a radio interview, and we'll post it at some point as an episode. But I just have to admit now, because I don't know what they're going to do with it, I just am not used to being live all the time. I'm used to being able to edit, and I'm also used to being able to curse all the time on a podcast because it's NSFW. Guys, I said fuck on yes, FM radio.
Sure did.
And the host was just like, we're a public, like he was just like, you can't do that. And I was like, did I just ruin this? So I said fuck on the radio and we'll post it as an episode someday, but I just had to admit that to everyone, to our listener, because I was very embarrassed.
I hope that we are able to actually repost that entire episode because it was fun to talk to somebody else. Two guys who have been running a very long running gay radio show in northern Texas. Yeah. And good for them. I mean, talk about pioneers who are, bringing the word to the people. And one of them is a parent, right? Yeah, one of them is a parent. And so I would love to be able to, share the wealth and broadcast them to the entire interwaves and our listener. But anyway, point being, I hope they didn't bleep it out.
What if they got fined like $1 million? Remember, like when Janet Jackson showed her titty on TV and everyone got whatever. Anyway, so I'm embarrassed. So we'll have to play that at some point. Usually it's Gavin ruining things. This time I ruined it. What I didn't ruin this week was we went apple picking / fall festivaling / hayride whatever.
All of that.
As you know, I'm a basic bitch when it comes to fall.
Yes, you are.
I love doing the whole hayride. Like I love the whole experience. parents. So we were invited by some gay dad friends to this farm we had never been, and it was a ton of fun. We
Nice.
picked the apples that we didn't need.
Yeah.
The last time we had done this, actually, our son was so young, and we were doing like a photo shoot in the field of pumpkins.
You haven't done it since then? Or you're saying the first time you did it?
No, the first time we did it, we were in this field of pumpkins, and we were doing a photo shoot, like as new gay dad parents.
As you do.
It was so cute. And we sat him next to a pumpkin. We backed up. We taking photos.
Of course.
And so we stand up after taking these photos, and we're like looking at them, and we look over at him, and he has grabbed a blue, like because it's rotting and moldy, pumpkin, and has shoveled the whole thing in his mouth. He's got blue pumpkin fur all over his mouth, and we're like, ah!
Wait,
so like
rotten pumpkin is in his mouth.
It is in and around his mouth. He swallowed it. So we run over there, like we're wiping off his mouth. They're like, no. And so we go and we're like giving him water, and he seems fine. He's totally fine. And we're just like, oh God, we dodged a bullet there. Well, wouldn't you know it? We're driving home. We're on the highway. And you just hear you just hear the sound of like this is coming, and he just explodes. He just explodes. So we are that family on the side of the highway with a naked toddler crying and throwing up as we're trying to figure out, because this is before we really were like, you need to have wipes in all area within arm's reach at all points. Yeah, correct. And we're just cleaning up a pukey car. It was horrific.
And you sit there, you're doing that, and you think that people are driving by judging you for being. This is what happens when you give gays kids. Huh?
Totally. And honestly, they were right. We did it. We did that. So anyway, so this time was much better. We had so much fun. It was a really great place. They had.
But wait. I am not making the connection here. You do this every single year because you're such a basic bitch, right? Yeah. You're just, okay, we skipped a few years. You've had good. We
skipped a few years. This is the first year we did it with a child. And now we've since learned our lesson. Don't let your children eat blue pumpkins.
Blue pumpkins.
Yeah. But we had a lot of fun at this one, that we saw lesbians in the wild, which again, we've talked about this before in the show, but this is a real concern I have, is when I witness other gay parents existing, I want to do the secret wave, or like high five. I want to be like engage with them, be like, we're gay parents, you're gay parents. But instead what happens is I stare at them creepily, and then they look at me like, why is he staring at me? And in my mind, I'm like, oh, you get it, we're gay parents. And they're just thinking, I need to call the police because this guy is staring at us. I want there to be a way where like I can be like, hey, gay parent, I'm a gay parent too, without having to like walk over to them and be like, you're gay, right? Right, because that would be really.
There does need to be a secret handshake, or just a what's up?
Yeah,
I suppose. Should we start that? What if we start our first contest on Gaytriarchs to be like, let's invent the first hand gesture / head nod, that would signify, hey, we're in this together. But don't you I'll also feel like you look at other gay parents and you're sizing each other up to think who's going to be more judgmental, or who's going to be more successful, or whose kids are going to be more.
No, that's you. That's your baggage. You mentioned that a lot. You talk about like success metrics. I have very low expectations for my children. So it gets me through the night, if I'm being honest.
Well, I love a visit to the pumpkin patch, without a doubt. I do feel like I don't always consider myself a basic bitch. I do not like pumpkin spice lattes. They're way too sweet. I did get a free one for my birthday at Starbucks, and I said, could you put half the syrup in, please? And the woman didn't know how to register. But
and mix it with my bottle of Ensure, because, I'm almost 50.
And this vodka. And it was still really always, frankly, unappetizing. But I love going to a pumpkin patch and, putting on a sweater when it's actually 83 degrees. So I'm sweating my ass off, and spending $35 on apples that I could have bought for $4.99 at the grocery store. It's always so fun. And usually, even at this age, my kids are like basically terrors out there, and they don't want to take the perfect Christmas shot that I would have hoped to get, and somebody ruins it. So, yeah.
And so what was that story about? Just shitting on my dreams and then stop talking? Is that what that was?
No, but speaking of shitting on dreams and whatnot, this week, I have 2 middle schoolers now, and we are having a hard time adjusting to the time. Honestly, my son, he's the one, right? I got to get my 10 and a half hours of sleep, which he says, not ironically. He's like, throws the blanket over his head, and he will go out like a light. I mean, he plays a lot of sports. And so he burns a lot of energy. He burns very, very bright, and he needs his downtime. We have now been such terrible parents over the last couple of weeks that our kid, we're only a month in. He's already missed a couple of days of school, basically because he wakes up on Monday and he's too exhausted to go. And he's doing a really good job acting, telling us that he has a sore throat, or basically he has full-blown COVID. Mm-hmm. And so we buy it. But of course, I do my regular spiel of, you are not going to be on a screen today. So this happened again this week. And he definitely did not go on a screen, and he just walked around moping, feeling sorry for himself the entire day, reminding me that his throat was hurting. But then by about 1:00 in the afternoon, he did ask, can I take the scooter up the road and just go? And I'm like, go do what? Don't even finish that sentence. You're not getting on your scooter. No, you're supposed to be in bed reading and having a miserable time. But it's all my fault. I like in all parenting, it's all my fault because because we're doing too many things, frankly, and we don't prioritize. Like, he's got to go to bed at 7:45 now. We can't do 9:15 when he's getting up at 5:45. I mean, who can, right?
We do.
Anyway,
we do nothing with our children, and we put them to bed early. That's the secret to being happy.
And you also, 9:45, you're also falling asleep, right? But also
9:45, 9:15. The other night we were watching one of those 2-hour episodes of a show that's normally an hour.
Oh, no way.
And all of a sudden I just kind of went, why is this? What are we doing? I looked at the clock. It was 9:40, and I literally stood up and I went, it's the middle of the night. So I get it. I stay up late. Gavin, I have a surprise for you.
You do?
A first here on Gaytriarchs on episode 83. Okay. It's our first What Would You Do from me. What would you do?
Please stop. Only
See how bad it is?
Only I can butcher that song. Only I can feign not knowing what it is. Oh, okay. But bring it. I love it.
So this happened to me at the kids' playground that we go to all the time. Mm-hmm. And on weekends, the ice cream truck will drive up. Okay?
And the ice cream truck who just manipulates and exploits. But
Okay. So we have been having a lot of treats lately, and we try to keep it very one treat a day, or if you're really good, or special events, and it just has gotten a little out of hand. So we've been tightening the reins a little bit, and we told them we're not going to get ice cream at the park today, we're just going to whatever. Well, we had met a bunch of his friends, and there was 10 of them, and it was all his old classmates, and they're all having a party, and that ice cream truck came up, and he ran up to me and he goes, can I have ice cream? I said, no, I told you can't. And he's like, oh, and then he walks away, and I was like, great, that's the interaction.
Right.
Every single one of his friends was getting ice cream, and they'd go up to him and be like, Emmett, come on, let's go get ice cream. And he would be like, Dad, can I please have ice cream? And this is where my what would you do comes in, because I am trying to hold the line to be I'm consistent as a parent. I said no, it's a no. I don't want to instill that if you just ask me hard enough, then you'll get something, because I definitely don't want that. But also, all his friends are having ice cream, and they're all sitting together in the same area of the park having ice cream and laughing. And I felt like a piece of fucking shit. So, because Gavin, I ask you, what would you do?
Find new friends. Find a new playground. Find any way to prove yourself right and that those people were bad.
Okay.
No. You know what? I've had a new technique recently. My daughter is obsessed with Starbucks. Drives me crazy because she doesn't need to be drinking coffee at this age. But it is such a thrill to her. So there have been a couple of times that I anticipated. I knew she was going to ask for it. And I was like, oh yeah, totally. Let's go get it. And she is so taken aback by my nonchalance of yeah, of course, obviously we need Starbucks, that she's disarmed, and she's delighted beyond all measure. But also, it doesn't give her a chance to reflect, really. She's just able to be like, oh, my dad's pretty cool. He's pretty chill. Okay, right. We're just going to go get Starbucks. You know what? In that stage, you have to stay consistent.
But you say that, but parents, I feel like every time I've been consistent in order to maintain some sense of normalcy, it never works. They still ask me for treats always, all the time. So what am I doing by holding the line like this? I'm not, but that's what I mean. I'm not moving the needle at all.
Yeah.
So I should just, because it's not oh, well, you know what? Dad says no, so I'm never going to ask him again. I just give him the fucking ice cream, I guess. Is the
You got to give him the ice cream when he's with his friends, and come on, it's just like a fun memory with them. And but the thing is, one, other parents totally ruin everything for you because they're not consistent, they have no values or moral rectitude. And two, if you could only see what was coming down the line, you wouldn't seem like an asshole contradicting yourself. And it is impossible. I make this mistake all the time. God, why didn't I think about the fact that ice cream truck was going to be there? It's impossible, man. So basically find new friends and it's impossible and you're always going to be a terrible parent.
You know what else is impossible and also terrible?
What?
Our top 3 list.
Gaytriarchs top 3 list. 3, 2, 1.
This is my week. So I was curious, because I'm shopping for more material and content, okay? What are your top 3 non-Disney favorite animated movies? So for me, number 3 is Claws. Do you remember that Christmas movie from Netflix a couple of years ago? Okay, well, of course you've seen all these, right? Because this is your jam, isn't it? Yeah. Claws I thought was so interesting though because it was so not completely cliche, right? And the animation was kind of interesting and it seems European and all the things. I mean, it probably isn't. Is it actually Disney?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, well, it was a fun one. Number 2, Coraline. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Just the right amount of dark weirdness.
Yeah.
And when kids are young enough, they don't really dislike something enough to be judgmental about it or think, I don't want to watch this anymore, because basically there's a moving screen in front of their eyes, so they never change. So you could put them in front of something for 4 hours and they're fine. I could always joke that my daughter could watch the Yule log for hours. And so Coraline is a little weird. And it pushes you, right?
Yeah.
So,
just,
there's no,
what do you want from me, Gavin? I agree with you.
And number 1, The Triplets of Belleville. Do you know about that one? Finally, thank God. Restitution. The Triplets of Belleville, 100 years ago. It's a short film and animated film, and it was French, obviously. And it is just wonderfully weird and quirky enough that in ways that only the French can do. And I did show it to my kids, and they were like, "What is this?" It's not avant-garde at all. It's very, and in fact, I don't think, if I recall correctly, because it's been a while, I don't think there's any dialogue in the movie at all. So it's just like artsy and innovative. And The Triplets of Belleville. It's really a fun little story about 3 old women who live on the train tracks, and their whole house shakes when the train track goes by, and just, comedy ensues. It's fun. Triplets of Belleville. You're welcome. What about you? What are your 3 non-Disney favorite animated movies?
I love that we both decided that these are our favorite movies, not the best that kids can watch. This is not going to be helpful for parents.
Whatever.
These are things that we like.
They're going on the Pat journey with us.
Yep. So for me, number 3, Sing. That is a fucking great movie.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen Sing, please watch. Number 2, I mean, listen, it bought me this house. Shrek. Shrek is just... It's great. It was also like one of the first times, not one of the first times, it popularized at this time the kind of irreverent, like twist on a fairy tale thing. I know twist on a fairy tales have been done forever.
Right.
But it was the first time that we were kind of like breaking the fourth wall with fairy tales.
Totally.
And number 1, childhood favorite, it still brings tears to my eyes. One of the best scores of all time, An American Tail.
Really? It holds up, huh?
Never. So I haven't actually watched it in quite a long time, but I remember as a child, I was Fievel Mousekewitz 4 years in a row for Halloween as a kid. So I loved that movie, but it was just like, it's also so dark and scary.
Yeah.
Like, those movies were so
not
different.
Disney.
Yeah. It is not Disney. No.
Okay, so what's next week?
So next week we're going to do the top 3 gifts for kids you don't know. Our next guest is the real American dream. Born in San Francisco to immigrant parents, moved to the Big Apple to pursue his dream, traveled across the country for love, and maybe the most American of all, he's a gay musical theater tenor. He is the host of... Hey, don't interrupt. I'm doing a big intro. I'm halfway through.
You have an entrance. You need to
Someone said
work on
tenor.
that.
He is the host of Tough Shift. That's hard to say. A podcast about artists surviving in the hospitality industry. But most importantly for us, he's been a professional nanny to a host of different families and a variety of ages of children. So please welcome to the show a man with maybe the whitest name I've ever heard, Sean Patrick Murtagh.
Hello. Yes,
Hello.
it is as white as my skin, but that's actually only half the story. But I want to just clarify.
There's a story there.
There's
Please
a story
clarify.
everywhere.
Mhm.
The immigrant parents.
Mhm.
I just want to. My parents aren't actually immigrants.
They're children of immigrants.
They're
like yeah.
Yeah, but their first generation experience was so intense that I just tell people my parents are immigrants because
Like a liar. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Thank goodness you have clarified that, and we won't have checkers coming after our asses or
But,
anything.
you
We
know,
can't be canceled because of this. All right, thank you.
I don't want like the Latinx social media coming to cancel me because
True
like
that.
also that's the other half. I'm half Hispanic, so
Uh-huh.
the name is Irish, but yes, that's yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Give us just a little taste of what that means that you feel like you had the immigrant experience growing up despite being second generation.
Yeah, so my parents, had to take on a lot of responsibilities in their family right away. My mom, was a translator, was a third parent helping, raise her siblings and helping around the house and all that stuff. And my dad, he wasn't the eldest, but he also took on a lot of responsibilities for his family. And just like there's certain immigrant sensibilities that are just like instilled in you, like have a job, don't be a nuisance, don't be a burden to society. Really just like we weren't well behaved, but we grew up with a little fear. But just certain things about work ethic and street smarts that were instilled in us, and we were like held to that standard.
Gavin, you need a dose of that because
you know it. Come be my Manny, please. But I would imagine that immediately translated into the lessons you were trying to pass on to the kids in your charge, huh?
Oh, 100%. And that was actually one of the best gifts about nannying was to be able to, as I'm doing stuff for them and saying stuff is coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm my abuelita, I'm my mom, I'm my dad, I'm Grandma Mary. All these little things come out. And it's such a great way to honor them without telling them that they were right. So
yeah, that's great. Wait, so let's get into that. So first of all, the gerund nanny'ing, that's impossible. Let's not ever say that word. But you are a gay musical theater tenor in New York City chasing your dream. How did you become a nanny? And also, is Manny offensive? Can we say that? Can I say that as a non-nanny?
Oh.
I like all those like masculinizations of words. It's like, I used to carry a bag around all the time. Well, I still do. And everyone's like, oh, you're Merce. And I'm like, I would rather you call it a purse or a bag because that's what it is. And like gunkle, I fucking hate the word gunkle. Right. I would rather you call me Tia Shani. I would rather that because that's more my sensibility. And like Manny, it seems so weird. Like, guys, I'm really secure with who I am. I'm nice. A nanny. And most of my, I don't have like paternal instincts. All my energy is feminine. I have maternal instincts. And, like when I pick up a baby, all of a sudden I'm Sarah in ragtime singing, which is really weird because that's not a happy song.
There's a lot of problems with that statement, but let's just skip over that.
We'll skip over that one.
Let's just get into like, how did you get into being a nanny? Not a nanny, a nanny.
A nanny. So the pandemic happened and Broadway was closing, restaurants were closing, and I got a message on Facebook from a friend of mine from high school who was living on the Upper West Side at the time. And she was like, Broadway is closing. What are you going to do? And I was like, yes, because I'm a Broadway actor. I have been on Broadway and I am currently on Broadway. People back home, they think everyone's on Broadway who's here. And I'm not gonna dispel that. I'm not going to tell them they're wrong.
Of course not.
You have stepped on the street called Broadway. You have been on Broadway.
I sang happy birthdays when I worked at Sardi's. You know what I mean? I sang on Broadway.
Furthermore, 75% of making it is frankly just moving here and trying it. So come
Absolutely.
on, it's all one big one big community for sure.
Yeah, and so so she said, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. And I'm like the world is ending and I don't have a job. And she said, well, how are you with children? And I said, I'm great. I come from a big Irish Hispanic family. I have nieces, nephews, cousins. I've been changing diapers since I was a kid and, braiding hair and all of that. And so she said, okay, well, the mom groups up here are going crazy because their schools are closing. So I figured, why don't you come over? and I can introduce you to some of the moms. And maybe if it works out, you can, get a little side hustle nannying while everyone's working from home. And so I did. Day one of the pandemic, I got on the subway back when they were telling us to not wear masks, save those for the hospital workers. And so got on the subway because, again, that instilled immigrant sensibility of get a job. You will survive this. Other people won't survive this, but you will survive this. And I went to her house and she was like, so there's a change of plans. I'm not introducing you to any moms. Our schools are closed down. So now you're my nanny and you're going to take care of the neighbor across the hall too. Okay. So I was just thrown into two 4-year-olds and a 2-year-old. And this was still just like we're going to see how the kids feel around you. And about 20 minutes into it, one of the kids just sneezed on me. We were playing Legos and just sneezed on me. And I was like, this kid gave me fucking COVID. I got the job. And I want hazard pay. So that's how I got into it. And, I've always been good with children. I'm comfortable around children, carrying them, feeding them, all of that. But it doesn't matter how good you are with other people's kids when you can just send them back, at the end of the party or the family get together. All of a sudden, it was like these long days of I have to entertain these children who only get 20 minutes screen time. And I'm from a generation where it's like you come home and you put on gummy bears and you just rot.
You just rot.
All these people. Yeah. And so these kids with 20 minute screen time is like, how the fuck am I going to entertain them? Because I think I'm funny. I think I'm entertaining. But also kids don't usually like the sound of adult singing voices. So here I am doing my best Mario Lanza. And they're like, stop it. That's awful. And I'm like,
how dare you?
I also love that you started your kind of day one of nannying experience being like, sneezed on. Like that is such a like quintessential top 5. Like you got to go through these top 5 things to become a parent. Like you got one of those right away, being sneezed on directly
in the height of the pandemic.
In the height of a pandemic.
But that must have been an extra special level of intensity nannying for the first time during the pandemic, because I imagine there were still lots of nannies around walking around with kids, but playgrounds were shut down, right?
We weren't walking around. So one family was a little more strict than the other. So before I arrived, the family across the hall, the mom's Swedish, so Europeans do things a little differently. They're a little more free. So she's like, it's open air. We're gonna be fine. She also worked for one of the big companies that made, I'm not sure if I can say it, but made one of the vaccines. She didn't work in that department, but she worked for them. So, she went to school for medicine. She was a pharmacist and all that. So she knew like how to read the situation. So she would take the kid out to the park in the morning. But when I was there, we didn't go outside and just like imagine like a child, like we didn't understand what was going on. Yeah. These kids had no idea. And like one of the weirdest things, like kids are also, they say some like morbid shit. And one day we're playing and it's like, let's play a game where COVID never happened. And I was like, oh my God.
That's dark.
I want to play with that. I want to play that game.
Let's play a game where Daddy didn't leave me. Yeah, no, that is terrifying. But also the experience that you had, which is such a universal parent experience, which is facing an entire day and going, how the fuck am I going to fill this? Or you do all of your activities. You do all your activities. You have all this fun. You go outside, do all this stuff. And you're like, man, we've had a long day. And you look at the clock and it's 8:46 a.m. And you're like, I don't know how to fill this long of a day. And you're just literally being pushed into the lion's den. It's crazy.
And 4-year-olds are assholes.
Yeah. Like, no, they're all assholes. But yes, 4-year-olds
it's a very special age where they're starting to figure things out. Their personalities are developing. And one of them was just sweet as sugar. He was the most wonderful child, but easily manipulated by the demon.
Sure.
And she was like, day one, she did not like me. She was set out on destroying me. If we were coloring together.
Was she homophobic? Was it because you were
well, what's funny is she looked like Kid Rock. Like she looked like this little lesbian.
So yes.
She's like, I'm a conservative, and she's not like Maury Povich for some reason. Yeah.
She walked in, and like my thing is like, I love braiding hair. Like all my nieces, anyone I'll do French braids, whatever you want. And this was not that kid. She was not about getting her hair braided. I walked in and she was in like a red Adidas tracksuit with a trucker hat to the side, and then just this gnarly blonde hair. Like she really looked like Kid Rock.
She was rocking whatever look that was. I mean, was it cool or just her?
Oh, it was so cool. But then I was like, okay, interesting. And I love this, like, little butch girl, like, yes, queer rights. Like, I'm just assuming.
Sure.
And then I met her dad. And it was like carbon copy. Like they looked exactly alike. And he had this wild, crazy hair, free spirit, artist type guy. And I was like, oh, this is like daddy's girl on crack. Like she wants to be her father.
Totally.
And it became adorable, except for the fact that she was like out to get me. And like she was convincing the other kids, she was like teaming up. Like if we were coloring, her marker always ran across my page. She just always had something negative to say to me.
And you can't explain this to anybody and not sound crazy. Where you're like, the 4-year-old has it out for me. I say it all the time. There was a girl in one of my son's old classes that I hated. I hated her. She was just a divisive. I hated her, and I would try to explain it to people why, and they would look at me like, "David, you're 44. You've got to like let your beef go with this 4-year-old." But
it's hard. It
annoys the crap out of me.
It is easy to have beef with kids, both your own and others, and it is. It does make you sound like you've just completely lost all touch with reality. But the fact is, we even as adults, we have big feelings sometimes, and kids can stomp our feelings and stomp our egos and then make us feel this big. So
crush our dreams.
Which is ridiculous. Obviously, we're the adults in the situation, but come on, we adults have feelings too, you know?
Whenever somebody says that to you, like, remember, you're the adult. It's like, remember, go fuck yourself. Like, you have not.
You haven't seen what she could do. She put her crayon on my paper.
My page. She ate my cookie.
So I have a weird, like, practical question, but just because I understand, as a parent, I understand how, like, babysitters work, right? Like, they come over, you pay them an hourly wage, whatever, and they go home. How are nannies paid? Are you paid by the hour, weekly? Do you have a rate that you tell them? Like, tell us how nannies are paid.
So it depends on the family. Some nannies are on payroll, some are not. Usually there's an hourly rate, and there's like the base, and then if you're dealing with a newborn or young, still not walking, then that's a different rate. If they have another child, then it goes up. So this was, it was amazing because I had 3 kids, so it was a pretty decent.
Good.
And you should have like an upcharge for assholes. Be like, sorry, your kid's an asshole. That's an extra $10 an hour.
Not to mention,
she ruined my picture.
Not to mention a COVID upcharge, I would imagine too. I mean, were you hopefully making more than just your everyday, because you were helping them survive, not just.
Yeah, it was. They were very generous with me, extremely generous. And took a few Purells and Clorox wipes because the mom was really good at like seeing stuff happening, so she got all of that. So just like, I'm going to be taking this, I'm going to be taking that, because you couldn't find those things anywhere. But they were very generous, and I went to school with one of the moms,
right?
So it did feel a little like family, and it was overall a great experience. And then what happened was the family that I knew coming into this moved back to California because they just saw like, our kids need a backyard. They had gone through, like everyone, a horrible loss during COVID, and they just like kind of reevaluated it and were like, we need to go be near family. Our kids need grandparents. They need a backyard, this and that. And I was like, yeah, go back. And then it was like, oh shit, I'm left with the demon child. That's my bread and butter. You left me with this one. And then it was like, talk about filling days then. It was like, I finally had gotten the rhythm. And then it was like, I'm like, she's out to get me. Everything I say is wrong. And, but it did end up working out. We found our rhythm together. And I feel like we grew together. Like, I learned so much about patience and so much about talking specifically to a young girl. Like, society is going to beat you down. I need to find a way to
arm you.
To arm you. And also, like, if you act this way, I'm not going to say it's bossy. I'm not going to say all those token words that, society says to women. But I want to help you, like, be smart about it and be smart about acknowledging your feelings and be smart about how you treat people. And so it was like a lesson in creativity, and we really built our trust together. I also gaslit her a little bit. I told her,
You know, I was just thinking in my head before you. So I want you to say that. What I was just thinking in my head was, man, getting a nanny or a babysitter or a teacher that is as devoted as you and thoughtful and great, they are worth their weight in gold. What a wonderful thing. And they should be paid 10x. And then you start saying, I want to gaslight them. Sorry, continue.
Well, you know, it was, I told her, she was always talking about her Christmas list, and it's like, it's August. And she was always wanting to like go over her Christmas list. Every time she saw something new, that had to be added, and we had to start from the beginning, and I had to draw pictures of it. She was very bossy. I know I can't say that, but she was a very bossy little kid. And so I started telling her that I was Santa Claus, and this was my this was my side job. And so,
It's tough even for Santa, guys.
I said, you know, like, look at this list. How am I gonna get all these toys? And the first thing she said, she looked at me and she goes, "You're not Santa. You're not fat." And I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Oh my God.
Thank you, girl. I'm snatched.
I'm too skinty to be Santa.
But
Okay.
no body shaming.
That's a great lie, especially because she was like, "Oh shit, I better like button up around him." Because
And she didn't truly believe it, but the possibility was there.
You planted a seed of doubt. I mean, you legitimately gaslit her. You turned those lanterns down just a little bit in the very beginning of the movie.
And she really, like, she would bring it back, like, at the most, we'd be at the park, we'd be watching whatever, 20 minutes she was allotted for the day, and she just looking like, "And you're not Santa," like, and another thing, like, all of that. She would just, like, randomly, like, "He's not Santa." It made me laugh, and I was like, I have to continue this lie, because, like, this is my hazard pay, is like watching you squirm a little bit.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And you know what you need to do? You need to like to really like play it up. You need to have her catch you as Santa in a way that you don't want to be seen, where like you're taking the Santa suit and hiding in a bag, and she catches you, and you're like, "Don't look at this." Yeah.
So what I did, I mean, maybe this is wrong.
You came to the right podcast, sweetie.
This is like a year later, and she had started school full time, so I had gone down to part time. So I had gone to part time, like doing pickups and everything. And I went home for Christmas, and she spoke Swedish. I used to I learned, a few words in Swedish to like reprimand her. And I always knew I was doing good with Swedish, because if she laughed at me, it was like I said it wrong. But if she just went like this, I knew I said it right. Like if she got angry. So I went out to Christmas in San Francisco, and it was Christmas Day. It was like the afternoon, heading to Christmas dinner with my family. And I sent her a little video. I had done Google Translate. I had sent it to her mom and be like, am I saying it right? And she's like, "Yep, you're saying it right." And so I wished her a Merry Christmas. And then I switched back to English. I was like, it's just finished my route. It's I'm so tired, but I'm back to looking normal. The beard's gone, the weight's gone. And I just wish you a Merry Christmas. And then I, finished it again in Swedish, and she was so pissed. But her parents loved it.
Yeah, listen, I love when babysitters and nannies like torment my children. I feel like it's just an extra special thing. So
it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And it's about just dealing with life. There's going to be lots of shysters and liars out there. So, start early. Early. It's fine.
So you nannied for a lot of kids and different families. You are not a parent right now. Is that something you ever want? And I'm curious how nannying affected whatever your choice is.
So nannying definitely scratched that itch. It definitely did. But I've always saw myself with children, and one of the things, like, this is just like how gay I am and what a sensitive soul I am, is I had to like come to terms with the fact that I could never grow life inside of me, because when I tell you I was a mother in the past 10 lives, it had to be, because I just have this like urge to have children. But it was always with, the caveat of, can I afford it? And I'm not giving up performing for the kids. Mm-hmm. So, because I need to be the best me to be the best parent.
100%. Yeah.
And if not, then I'll just be the best Tio Shawnee. I'll be the best whatever there is godfather I can be.
Yeah.
And so now my partner and I are at this place, and, he's a therapist. and he works, in some pretty extreme cases. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't think we have the emotional bandwidth between us to do that, as I'm pursuing my career, as he's living out his career. And as I'm, still waiting tables and bartending. So I'm dealing with grown-up children all the time. So it's like, I think it's Tio Shawnee. And if in the future, my thing that I tell myself, in the future, the opportunity comes for us to, either foster queer youth or whatever, or give to those organizations, that's how we're going to give back. That's how we're going to contribute to raising children.
Well, I think you are a perfect example, as is our very, very first guest, all the way to episode 1, in that like experiencing parenthood is not so binary. It's not like, oh, I have this kid and he is legally mine. You kind of experience parenting in a way. Craig Ramsey, our guest, has experienced being a father in a way, and those kind of like non-direct ways. And so, yeah,
and it takes a village, and you are contributing in all the ways too. So we all need a little more Tio Shawnee in our lives.
There we go.
Seriously.
What's funny is it has impacted me in every way in my life. But as somebody working in hospitality, I had when I'm not as upset when children sit in my section. And the only reason I get upset when it's like, oh, you're having a party at 10, and then it's like 2 adults and 8 children. I'm like, they don't count. They're not drinking. They're not eating, and they're putting sugar packets all over. But I've become a little softer with that, and now I know to entertain them, and I'll like sing songs, from shows I know they're watching, and the parents like, oh my God, that's amazing. And how do you know all that?
They're like, are you a musical theater tenor? You know that really well. And you're like,
wow.
It's my 16 bars.
Can you do it up half a step?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I worked as a nanny, and almost every time they're like, oh, are you taking children? Are you want to watch our kids? And I'm like, you haven't even met me.
And also, look at this mustache. I could be a child predator. Look at me.
The white skin, the mustache, I fit the profile.
You're asking me to watch your kids? I'm a stranger. Well, that is an interesting question. Is that something that you want to do as a side job again?
No. And I really lived through this cycle. And I just want to also, before I forget, that first kid, the demon child, love her with all my heart. She is one. For the rest of my life, I will be a part of her life. I will whatever. I love her. She's my favorite. And I know we don't have favorites, but we really grew the most.
Yes, we
absolutely have favorites.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
We did Zoom kindergarten together. I helped teach her to read.
You're in the trenches together. You're in a huge.
You really, really were. You were the parent, I would imagine. Jeez.
Yeah. And I've also taken care of newborns and gone through potty training, gone through diabetes diagnoses and monitoring a 3-year-old sugar levels.
Wow.
And that's horrific.
So
all the traumas, like potty training, the pandemic, the diabetes, and all these things that are over these kids' heads, but it's so real to them. How do we navigate that? So
So you've been in the trenches, you've done it all, you've seen it all. Now what I'm really dying to know is, how about the parents?
It's understanding what I always said, this is their job. Your kid's job is to be an asshole. Your kid's job is to not understand this. Your kid's job is to push your buttons. And it's our job to guide them. Which is a much more nuanced and fully rounded out version of remember you're the adult. Yeah. It's not just these are the tools, but we just got to remember. We got to, the same way we tell them to all right, let's take a moment, let's breathe, let's think about, you have to do that as a parent, and it's their job. So, one parent who I love and adore, she was always overly apologetic whenever the kid was going through it. And she's like, oh, our sweet little angel, she'll be back in no time. And I'm like, yeah, she is a sweet little angel, but so is Lucifer. This is just part of this is part of the story, and just allow them, because I don't want this kid to grow up with expectations that they always have to be perfect. They always have, and so it's just monitoring that. But the parents too, even though there are headaches around it, they have my back. And so it's that. But to give you what you're asking for about parents, so I have it weighs on me a little more that this is not my child, so I have to do if they scrape their knee, if they get sick, if they whatever. It's not my child, so it's even worse that it happened on my watch.
No.
So I am hypersensitive, hyper aware, and try to over communicate everything I can. And this one family went into potty training without me. And they were talking about it, and I get a text, like not like on Friday when like, oh, we're going to do potty training. I get a text Monday as I'm coming to work. Oh, by the way, we started potty training. We're not doing diapers during the day, only nap. And I was like, you could have warned me. Like I was walking into potty training. And so it was just, and they gave me when I got there, the whole spiel about how great she did and all of this. And then I'm like, okay, this kid is not going to pee. This kid is not going to pee her pants, which is also part of potty training. It's not an accident.
Yep.
It's just, it's part of the learning curve.
Yep.
And we made it through most of the first day, and then I just could not run fast enough.
And then you're dealing with a puppy with IBS. You're just like, it's everywhere. I don't know what to do.
Exactly. The cat's throwing up. And so it just happened. And then so I told him, I'm so sorry. Like we made it mostly through everything, but there was just a little accident. And she was like, oh, that's okay. I mean, we had accidents all weekend. I was like,
liar.
You fucking liar.
You play the tape. Play the tape, Your Honor.
I got the receipts.
Okay, so wrapping up, I'm curious for those of the dads out there who want to hire a nanny, what should they think about?
Background checks.
Okay.
That would be important.
A flexibility, and also like somebody who has experience in another field. So either a nanny who's pursuing a master's degree in something educational, or someone who has an expertise in something that will benefit this child. So, me with acting and singing, it's all about improvisation. Like it's always in the moment and keeping the kids, distracting them, entertaining them, a little bit of all of that.
And informing them about the rift between Andrew Lloyd Webber and Patti LuPone and how it's like ebbed and flowed throughout the years. That's important stuff.
Exactly. And I gotta sing Meadowlark to this child to get them to sleep.
Yes, you do. Yes,
because
you do.
When I was a boy, I had a favorite story.
It is so helpful to get your outsider's knowledge like that, because parents just feel so in the thick of it, but you have a certain removal from it, which is fantastic. And you have more perspective an awful lot of the time because we're so in the thick of it. But then also being in the thick of it, we're always curious to know what is one of the stories or 6 of the stories that you go back to when you say, I will never forget the time when.
So this was... Nobody tells you just how great it feels when a kid gets injured doing something you told them not to
do. Retribution, revenge.
I mean, I don't want them to lose a limb or be profusely bleeding, but just something to drive the lesson home. So, as you know, like once kids on the Upper West Side, you are dodging strollers. There are just strollers everywhere. And as soon as the kids graduate from strollers, they are in their little scooters. And it's almost like a motorcycle gang. And it's just all the Upper West Side. You're dodging these kids who have no spatial awareness, no sense of other people. And I was always driving the point, like, the sidewalk, like life, is a shared experience. There are other people, and look where you're going. If you're going forward, don't look back at me. Don't look at the bird, really, and watch your speed, because other people don't love you the way I love you, and they're not looking out for you. And so just, pay attention, be smart. Don't go too fast, because you still don't know what you're doing yet. Mm-hmm. And this is obviously the demon child. And just, she'd always, mimic me and yell back, I know what I'm doing. You don't need to tell me that, blah, blah, blah. All these just mean. And so she's going fast down a hill on the Upper West Side. And I'm like, slow down. And I say in Spanish, te vas a caer y me voy a reír. And she goes, what does that even mean? And I said, you're going to fall and I'm going to laugh. And she said, you wouldn't do that. And I said, watch me, kid. And so she's going. And she turns around to like look to see, like, see, I'm going fast, and sticks her tongue out. And right at that moment, her wheel catches a grate, because half of New York sidewalks are grates.
Yep.
And so it stops, but momentum makes her, it was just like a door hinge. She just went flying forward. And I swear to God, I took a second. I did like a deep lunge squat. I was just like laughing, like I was like, oh my God, like Tina Turner going down for the high note, like just squat and rise. And then I had, before she could see me, I had to just suppress it, and I had to go pick her up and I had carried the scooter, and oh, my little baby. And I gave her little sana-sanas, which is, in Spanish, you say when you have a boo-boo, like sana-sana colita de rana, which is like the poor frog's butt.
Because of course, okay,
it's bumping all day.
Things translate in the world.
Exactly. So I did her sanas. I made her some hot chocolate when we got home. I put on one of her, she loves this Swedish, like Winnie the Pooh, it's called Bamsi, and put on that and just babied her. But inside, I was like, I can't fucking wait to get on that train. I'm going to be that crazy person just dying of laughter. And it's still just that image of her falling forward.
But also, to me, the take I want to see, the single, like as I'm directing this TV show, is of the street passerby who witnessed this and then watched you belly laugh at this child who just got injured. Oh man! But every parent knows that little beat before you go to help them, where you're just like, yeah, you suck.
I used to be so judgmental, and it was always like, they'd be like, oh man, one thing that is like, a hot dad that isn't into it, like, oh, that's just so annoying. You see like the hot dad pushing the stroller and he's over it. I'm like, that is just so, and like, as if he should be trying to attract me. He's married with a child. That's, or you see the parents on their phone. I'm like, that's just bad parenting. I don't know why they chose to have children.
No.
And just so judgmental from the outside. Yeah. But then when you experience it, it's like, yeah, no, you go play with your friends. Yeah. I need Shawnee time. I need you to leave me the hell alone.
I need to be in my phone to survive this 8, 10, 12, 15, 24-hour day. That's it's totally true. We've said this many times in the show. Like, we were just as judgmental as, you know what I mean? And then you become, and we're still hypocrites, but at least we own it a little bit better.
But also in that moment, there are times when hopefully the hot dad also was actually enjoying his time, and he just has a little bit of a resting bitch face, and
exactly,
you cannot be on all the time because you are so exhausted all the time. But hopefully he saw his buddy, his buddy, just after you saw him, and he lit up, Yeah,
but exactly.
Can't be on all the time, that's for sure, especially as a parent.
Yes. Sean, thank you so much for demeaning yourself by being on our stupid little podcast.
Oh, no, thank you. I mean, I've been listening since day one, and
no kidding.
You're our listener. You're the listener.
I'm the listener. Which,
guys, we met him. He's here.
Because I'm the listener. I know that you have more than one listener because you guys had to retire that joke a few episodes back.
Barely.
Right.
But
I am a little disappointed because other than the top 3, my second favorite thing that you don't do anymore is the "What would you do?"
We're going to do it again. We're going to do it today.
We're
going to do it today. We need to bring it back.
On that. We have plans on bringing that back. And I was like, I've never done it to Gavin. We need to do it.
Yeah.
And I love
we
that
just
you
got
know
lazy.
exactly what that is. Gavin just choosing any note at random for that point.
And,
that musical
how
phrase.
It's almost like you guys are brothers, and it just annoys you. Like, that's not the melody.
Yes.
It makes me so happy.
Which is part of the fun of terrorizing David with it.
This should be our last episode. We met our listener. We interviewed him. End of list. There we go.
Now come to my podcast.
Yay.
Sounds good. Yes, everybody can find Tio Shawnee on the podcast called Tough Shift, right? Give us 2 seconds on what is Tough Shift.
So Tough Shift is just kind of about, I like to say I folded napkins with the best of them. In my experience in restaurants, people who are so talented and so successful in their careers, they've done tours, they've done Broadway, they've sold out venues, and yet financially they have to kind of balance that out by these jobs. And it's really humbling. Where we spend all day going around to auditions and humbling ourselves to Tara and Bernie and all of them.
Yes.
And I can call them that because we're friends, right? And then you get to work and you're being humbled by these people who just don't appreciate you, regardless of your success and talent and what you have achieved. But just as a human being, just kind of like look down on you with sometimes not meaning it, sometimes meaning it. And the stuff that we go through. And it's just like, man, that fucking sucks. You have no idea who I am, not who I think I am. Like recently, I worked with a really shitty chef. And my manager's like, well, you know, sometimes that happens with celebrity chefs. And I was like, is Alex Guarnaschelli here? She's a celebrity chef. This jackass. Like I said, open Google right now. I bet you there are more articles, more reviews, and I've won more awards than that asshole. And so it's all that type of stuff, that balancing of like, this is my job. And we go through a lot of shit. And so I want to kind of share those war stories, but also highlight my friends and these people and be like, this is what they're doing. Like they did this show, they sang this note, they created this art, and here's how you can go find them and put a little humanity behind the waiter.
That's the beauty of podcasting, isn't it? A little bit. Tio Shani, thank you so very much.
Oh my God, thank you.
So my something great, yes, it's TikTok, but I came across my FYP this video, and it was this husband and wife. They were very young; they're in their early 20s, and the husband was in a wheelchair. And he, as you watch the video, you realize that he was paralyzed from basically the waist down. And their whole video series, and they have like a whole YouTube series, and their whole like thing now is they talk about how to be sexual, how to have sex as a couple when one person is in a wheelchair or has some sort of limitation, physical limitation.
That's amazing.
It is so amazing. And they were like, you know, they were kind of being silly about it and goofy. They're like, well, you know, he has to take a shot to get erect and blah, blah, blah. But like the fact that this resource can now exist for people, because I think a lot of us go, oh, like where you're disabled in whatever the way is, so sex is off the table for you, and let's not even talk about it. Well, that's not fair. And also, people can very much still have sex, and these people are a proof positive of it, and they're so sweet, and they just talk about it so candidly but very sweetly. And I just was like, you know what? Say what you will about TikTok, but there is some amazing access that is being provided now. So paralyzed sex video on TikTok is my something great.
Mean, the way it was written on the outline that I'm looking at right now, I was a little curious to see what you were going to come up with. But I completely agree with you that in this world, especially in sex positivity, where there's nothing even, obviously, there's nothing dirty about it. It's just human. Yeah. And the fact that people are making themselves vulnerable to share is just,
and helping people out who think that maybe that part of their life is over now that they're wheelchair bound or whatever.
Yeah. My something great is that I'm soon going to have a teenager, and I have made it this far. And I always think that I want to wish the good tidings to parents who are whose kids are having birthdays. Who cares about the kid? Whatever. It's all about them anyway. But you want to just congratulate parents on being like, hey, good job. You got to 8.
You survived. You got to 3. Yeah.
Good job. You've gotten to 13. And you know what? My daughter's something great. And if she's listening to this, which she better not be,
go to bed.
If I ever say anything that offends you, don't seek retribution against me. I think that's the 3rd time I've said retribution in this one recording. But anyway, it's something great having a teenager and making this far in parenthood and all the things. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And that is our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at GaytriarchsPodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at GaytriarchsPodcast. On the internet, David is at David FM Bond everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on LiveJournal.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcast.
Thanks, and we'll gratitude you next time on another episode of Gaytriarchs.